I used to believe that if I just endured, I could have a family. But now I see. Some families only see your endurance as their right. They never saw me as a person. Everything I did was just expected. My tears. They said they were dramatic, and my dignity. They trampled it with every single sneer. Who do you think you are? They laughed as they split my dowry and mocked me for not being worthy of their name. They treated me like a maid, a cash source, a scapegoat for all their problems. And in front of others, they blamed me for everything. When I was sick, no one asked if I was okay. When I collapsed from exhaustion, all I heard was, "Who are you trying to impress?" I finally understood. This wasn't marriage, it was a prison. The day I left, they expected me to cry, to beg, to lower my head. But I didn't. I just turned and walked away, because in that moment I had already died once. But then I came back. And as I stood there, I told myself, I'm not the wife you knew. I'm not a victim anymore. I see everything clearly now. I've seen every fake smile, every performance, every whisper behind my back, every scheme, every ounce of energy you drained from me. I remember it all. I don't need to shout. I don't need to rage. I just need to watch. I learned to smile, to wait, and I will wait until your greed and arrogance finally betray you. Then I'll strike. I'll take everything you think you control: your reputation, your money, your power, your influence. You will feel what it is to be ignored, dismissed, silenced, just like I was. You'll panic eventually. You'll beg me. You'll call me cruel. But I haven't changed. I just stopped living for you. They thought my silence meant weakness. They didn't know I remembered everything. Every insult, every humiliation, every lie. I have a map of their weaknesses in my mind. I have to be invisible until the moment I strike. They must never see me coming. I'm gathering everything. Evidence, secrets, small details they think don't matter. Everything is a weapon. Every secret is ammunition. Every smile I give, every word I speak is calculated. I let them think I am still the woman they could control. But inside, I am already free. I don't just want revenge. I want control. I want them to crumble from the inside while I remain untouchable. The first crack appeared at the dinner table. My mother-in-law picked up a stack of papers, her face twisted. Why are these numbers off? She demanded, her voice sharp. Her brother-in-law leaned over, feigning concern. Maybe the accountant made a mistake. My husband, ever the peacemaker, tried to calm the room. Everyone, calm down. Let's check before jumping to conclusions. I just sipped my tea quietly, watching them. You've all been careless, I said softly, my voice cutting through their panic. And now everyone sees it. Not just me. Anyone could. My mother-in-law hissed at my husband, her eyes fixed on me. She knew. She's been keeping track. Watching us, my husband snapped back, defending his own denial. She's just a wife. What could she possibly know? That's exactly what you thought, I said coldly, letting the words hang in the air. Until someone notices. The room went silent. Then the accusations began to fly. Secrets, debts, and past mistakes surfaced one by one, each one a fresh wound. Later, alone with my husband, the facade finally broke. "You're not helping them," I said quietly, "and neither am I. What are you talking about?" he asked, his confusion genuine. "I've given them a chance to fix themselves," I explained calmly. "But they can't. They've built this house on lies and cruelty, and now the walls are crumbling. I'm just letting it happen." He stared at me, a flicker of understanding in his eyes. I thought you were the same," he said softly, torn, "the one I married, the one I could control." "I'm not," I replied, my smile faint but sharp. "I never was. This is what happens when you build a house on deceit. It falls apart, just like it should. Friends are leaving. Relatives are whispering. Mistakes are exposed. And I stay in the shadows, watching it all unfold. The first step is done, and I will not rush the next. This is just the beginning. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more. Sela entered the dining room carrying a tray of tea, a polite smile gracing her lips. "I noticed something interesting in the supplier reports," she said softly, her voice just a gentle murmur in the tense room. "There are some small, repeated amounts. It could be nothing, of course, but it might cause serious problems if left unchecked." Her mother-in-law stiffened, her posture becoming rigid. "Sela, what exactly are you implying?" The question was sharp, a clear warning. "Nothing at all," Sela replied, her tone unwavering. "I'm just pointing out facts. And facts can be quite dangerous if they're ignored, don't you think?" Her eyes flickered toward her brother-in-law, whose face was already turning a deep shade of red. "Are you accusing me of something?" he challenged, his voice rising with anger. "I'm not accusing anyone," she said calmly, placing the teacups down with a steady hand. "I'm only highlighting what could go wrong. You see, leaving things unchecked can be far more dangerous than noticing them." Her father-in-law, who had been silent until now, finally spoke, his voice a low grumble. "I'll handle it myself." "Of course," Sela said sweetly, her smile never faltering. "I only want what's best for the family." But her mother-in-law wasn't finished. She leaned forward, her voice a low hiss. "Why are you always looking into things? This isn't your place." "I'm learning," Sela said softly, meeting her gaze. Later that night, alone with her husband in their bedroom, her quiet demeanor shifted. The softness was still there, but now it was laced with steel. "You think I'm quiet because I'm submissive?" she said, her voice a low, firm whisper. "But you're wrong. I've been watching, I've seen every move, every lie, every secret." Her husband looked at her, his expression nervous and uncertain. I thought you were just trying to survive." "Oh, I was surviving," she replied, her eyes dark and serious. "But surviving is over now. I'm in control." Fear began to creep into his voice. "What are you planning? What are you going to do?" "Exposure," she said, the word hanging cold and sharp in the air. I'm exposing everything, the bribes, the hidden transfers, all the lies. When the truth finally comes out, everyone will see exactly who you are, and more importantly, who I am. He looked down, unable to meet her gaze, his silence a confession in itself. Do you understand? A few weeks later, at another family dinner, Sella was the picture of grace as she poured wine for everyone. As the plates were being passed, she spoke, her tone light and casual. Did anyone happen to check the new overseas shipment invoices? She asked, as if making small talk. Some of the amounts don't quite match the contracts. Just small errors, really, but enough to raise some questions. Her brother-in-law snapped, slamming his fork down. Who gave you the right to check anything? She didn't flinch. Her gaze was even as she replied, You did. You all did, by leaving it unchecked, by assuming I wouldn't notice, by assuming I was nothing. Her mother-in-law's face was a mask of panic. We need to correct this. Quietly, she muttered, shooting a warning look at her husband. Of course, Sella replied softly, taking a delicate sip of her wine. Quietly is always best. Her father-in-law's face went pale. I'll speak to the accountant immediately, he declared, his voice strained. A few days later, her husband confronted her in the study, his frustration finally boiling over. Why are you doing this? He demanded, his voice shaky. Why are you tearing everything apart? Because you left me no choice, she said, her voice soft but unforgiving. You all thought I would stay quiet forever, that I would just endure it all in silence. But I'm not silent anymore. I thought you loved this family, he stammered, desperation in his eyes. I loved the person I thought I married, she said, her tone turning cold. Not the family that did everything it could to destroy me. Now, I'm just making things fair. You can't. You'll destroy everything, he pleaded. I will destroy nothing, she said firmly, standing her ground. I'm only revealing what already exists. The truth is already there. You destroy yourselves with lies every single day. I'm just letting it happen. And so Sella spent the following weeks quietly, meticulously building her web. The whispers started to follow her through the grand house. She's too calm, a senior employee said to a colleague. She never raises her voice. But I think she knows everything. Everything. Sella overheard these comments, and a faint, knowing smile touched her lips. Exactly, she whispered to herself. They'll all learn soon enough. You can't keep doing this, she hissed, her voice trembling. You'll ruin everything we've built. I'm just showing what already exists. You built a house of lies. I'm just pointing out the cracks in the foundation. Just then, her brother-in-law stormed into the hall. Enough. What is your problem? Sela turned her serene gaze to him. My problem, she asked, a hint of amusement in her voice. My problem is that you all thought I was nothing, that I was invisible, that I wouldn't see, that I wouldn't remember, but I did. I saw it all, and now you will see too. Her father-in-law rushed over, trying to intervene. Sela, stop this at once. She looked at him, her expression unyielding. After that, the cracks began to spread quickly. The family's carefully constructed empire began to tremble. Everything's falling apart, her husband admitted one night, his voice filled with despair. How did you know all of this? I always knew, Sela said softly, looking out the window into the darkness. I always saw everything. And now, I'm just letting it all collapse naturally, under the weight of its own deceit. You're not the woman I married, he said, fear and awe mixing in his voice. I am, she said quietly, finally turning to look at him. But I'm also someone you never expected, and you never ever should have underestimated me. Later, Sela sat alone in her study, reviewing her notes. The evidence of their downfall spread before her. They think I'm patient, she murmured to the empty room. They think I'm weak, but patience is my weapon. Every move I make is precise. Every word I speak is calculated.